How to design your training. One of the many objectives for organizations when it comes to training is how do they assess, create, and deploy that training content effectively. The R.O.P.E.S model provides an excellent guideline for this, and it's been used for many years. And it doesn't matter if you're doing in-person training, online, or some other hybrid model. The great thing about R.O.P.E.S is that it applies no matter what. So let's walk through it together. Let's start with R, and that's review and recap. Remember, your learners already have a vast amount of knowledge before they even come into the room. Build on this information. As you review and recap, utilize group discussions, quizzes, and other interactive tools so that they not only reinforce and provide bridges to the content that you've created, but on top of that, you can also learn on how you can improve it. Next is objectives. And this is going to be centered really around what do you want them to take away from the training, right? What are those key learning objectives or those takeaways that at the end of the day, you want them to retain? And a great way to think about that is with the SMART model. The SMART model is about specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound objectives. So think about really taking that and breaking it down to the smallest form possible. When you consider an objective, keep it to the simplest manner. If not, retention just won't be there. Are they going to remember this a week from now, a month from now, a year from now? So when you consider your training, always focus on those top 2 learning objectives that you want them to focus on. So going back to the R.O.P.E.S model, the next area is about presentation. So presentation can come in so many forms. It can be video-based, like we're doing here. It could be a facilitator in a classroom. It could be a real-world application or a case study or a scenario. But what's important about the presentation is to never forget the engagement. You want to ensure there's a way and a method for your learners to not only interact and provide feedback, but on top of that, utilizing different instructional models, whether it's graphs or video or presentations or different scenarios. All of these encompass a better learning experience. Don't stick to just one model, right? Don't stick to just one method of how you're presenting that information. And then next, we have exercise and application. So this is really important. They now get to take what they've learned and what you've covered, and they get to apply it. So how do you do that? Some organizations call this dynamic learning labs or dynamic learning opportunities. But these are where you set up an opportunity for them to apply and, more importantly, fail on what they've just learned. And this is also a great group engagement method. Even if you have people that are training independently, when you look at exercise and application, you can bring them together. This not only helps build, more internal teamwork, but on top of that, it helps to highlight the effectiveness of your learning from independent sources. So exercise and application is routinely overlooked in many organizations because there's this push to achieve that training as quickly as possible. But it is paramount to the long-term retention and comprehension of your topic. And then finally, you've got S for summary. Summary is really this big picture review, right? It's the high points and not only rehashing those learning objectives, but it's an excellent opportunity for feedback from your learners. That's the overall approach to the R.O.P.E.S model. But one thing I want to circle back to is that word of feedback. I said it multiple times throughout this because it is so critical for so many organizations, right? Every time that you create training content, it's going to be an evolution, right? It's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. But what is important is the opportunity for your learners to relate and engage through that process. Let us know in the comments different ways you have found success with the R.O.P.E.S model or any other models.